And thank you for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. British police have identified suspects in the terror attacks in London. Officers say they previously knew one as a possible threat. Mark Martin has this story.
Investigators had known for years that one of the suspected attackers, 27-year-old Quram Butt, wanted strict Islamic Sharia law to be upheld in the UK. A British TV documentary even featured Butt. It was called The Jihadis Next Door, and he'd been seen on TV unfurling an ISIS flag. A neighbor even called an anti-terror hotline to give a tip about his threats. This man's wife had previously reported Butt to police because he had tried to radicalize her children.
I don't know what kind of madness took him to do such a madness thing and leave two beautiful kids. But I don't know.
Experts say these incidents led officials to ask if they could have stopped the attack.
We always ask ourselves, well, should we have known? Could this have been prevented?
The Saturday night attacks with a van and knife in central London left nearly 60 wounded and 7 people dead, including Canadian Chrissy Archibald and James McMullen of London.
While our pain will never diminish, it is important for us to all carry on with our lives in direct opposition to those who would try to destroy us.
In addition to Quram Butt, a British citizen born in Pakistan, authorities have identified 30-year-old Rashid Radwan as a suspected terrorist in the attack. Both men lived in the same East End London neighborhood. Radwan is from Libya or Morocco. Police fatally shot them along with a third attacker. London's mayor, who is Muslim, spoke directly to terrorists.
As a proud and patriotic British Muslim, I say this: you do not commit these disgusting acts in my name.
Khan and President Donald Trump got into a minor feud after the attack, with Khan saying the British government should cancel an upcoming state visit by the president, after Trump criticized Khan on Twitter for some of his remarks after the attacks. But British Prime Minister Theresa May stood by the London mayor without commenting on the president's statements. After the deadly tragedy in London, coming on the heels of other recent terrorist attacks in the UK, the top British counter-terrorism official says authorities plan to dramatically change their strategy. Mark Martin, CBN News.
Given recent terror attacks in the United Kingdom, many Americans are wondering if the United States might be next. CBN's national security correspondent Eric Rosales spoke with top security experts who say we all need to remain on guard.
While the investigation continues into the UK terror attacks, the United States Department of Homeland Security says it has no evidence of a specific credible terror threat in the United States, but is advising Americans to maintain security awareness. But is maintaining security awareness enough? Just weeks ago, Department of Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly told a media outlet that the American public would never leave their home if they knew what he knew about terrorist threats. So has the U.S. just been lucky?
If we don't stop the jihadists, what we see in Europe today will happen in America as well.
Former foreign policy advisor to President Trump, Dr. Waleed Phares, says the reasons for more attacks in Europe than the U.S. is partly due to geography. Not only is Europe closer to the Middle East, but jihadis have been migrating there since the 1950s and 60s. Phares says failures by British intelligence have also allowed radical Muslims to organize.
London is being too politically correct because its establishment did not tolerate any criticism of jihadism. And therefore, if you don't stop the jihadists, they're going to grow. And if you don't stop them really, they're going to attack, and that's what they did.
He adds in many cases, British law enforcement has their hands tied because certain actions against specific religious groups might cause political backlash and even scandal.
If there is a large Muslim population, if I can get those people off the fence, if I can inspire them to do something, I don't need to go myself.
Commander William Marks is with the Defense Intelligence Agency. He says radical Muslims are leaving Europe for training in the Middle East.
There they get training in both fighting and communication. Then from there, sometimes they either return back to their country of origin or they communicate back to those countries to try to incite terror.
Experts say because the United States has been at war with ISIS and al-Qaeda for years, we've developed tools to detect and vet radicals. But they add Americans must remain on guard and report anything suspicious. Eric Rosales, CBN News.
Lawmakers in the Senate are urging President Trump to move the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. The Senate voted on the resolution last night. It calls on the president and all U.S. officials to abide by a 1995 law that urged then-President Bill Clinton to move the embassy. The White House insists the move will eventually happen. The Supreme Court is refusing to review an appeal from a Marine who was punished for posting a Bible verse in her office. Marine Lance Corporal Manifa Sterling was court-martialed and given a bad conduct discharge after refusing to remove the verse. Monday's decision upholds the ruling of the lower courts, stating superiors did not place a, quote, substantial burden on her First Amendment right to religious expression. The legal team representing Sterling disagrees with the court's decision. Her attorneys say they will work even harder to ensure religious freedom for U.S. military members. And still to come, she follows her husband's career on the basketball court, and she has a more than 4 million Instagram following of her own. We go into the kitchen with Ayesha Curry to see how she blends her passion for food with her faith and family. The Golden State Warriors will face Cleveland Cavaliers tomorrow in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. The Warriors lead the series 2-0. All-star Steph Curry dribbled every which way around LeBron James during Sunday's game, and Golden State's newest star, Kevin Durant, scored 33 points to help lead the team to a 19-point win over the Cavs. This victory breaks the NBA's record for most consecutive playoff wins. The upcoming game is one you certainly don't want to miss. Now, Steph Curry has a faithful fan who pretty much never misses a game, his wife, Ayesha Curry. The pair are very outspoken about their faith, their family, and their love for the game. And when Curry is not on the court, he's cheering on his wife, who has quite the success story of her own. She's recently opened her own restaurant. I sat down with the mom of two to talk about her budding career. Take a look. When Golden State Warriors superstar Steph Curry takes the court, he sees a familiar face on the sidelines. Have you always been a basketball fan?
No. Oh, gosh. Not at all. I come from a very artsy family. The only sort of introduction to sports that I had before meeting my husband was Buffalo Bills football and Doug Flutie Flakes. My dad grew up in Buffalo and has been a Bills fan all his life.
Now Ayesha Curry's focus is NBA basketball as she cheers on her husband at almost all of the Warriors' home games. Away from the court.
Hi guys, Ayesha here. Today I have a recipe for you guys that is a staple in our household, especially at breakfast time. It is my brown sugar bacon.
Her passion moves to the kitchen, sharing recipes and cooking tips with the millions who follow her online. And in her best-selling cookbook, The Seasoned Life, Food, Family, Faith, and the Joy of Eating Well. Was this a hard thing to do?
Yeah, it was. There were points when I wanted to give up. There were points that were enjoyable, and there were points where I just didn't want to do it anymore, but I pushed through, and I'm really happy that I did. Because I now have this great book full of quick and easy recipes for everybody to enjoy, but more so for me to pass down to my daughters.
Your passion for cooking is clear, but there was a period you were pursuing acting.
Yeah, that's, it's so funny because looking back now, it just seems like my childhood. I've done it since I was about 2. I left high school early and went out to LA to pursue it, and it got to a point where I realized that it wasn't for me. I guess I was pretty good at it. I was steadily working, but I didn't have a passion for it. And for a long time, didn't know what my career was going to be. And I struggled with that for a while. But I prayed about it. I pressed through and realized that it was staring me in my face my whole life.
Prayer and a gentle push from her husband.
Chef Curry with the pot, been cooking with the salt. Chef Curry with the pot, boy.
Helped Ayesha begin sharing her fun kitchen life, and fans quickly followed.
How important do you think it is for people to acknowledge God in that process?
Oh, I think it's very important because you could find yourself in a place you don't want to be really quickly. So it's I feel like it's important to make sure you're always praying, always talking, to have like clarity of mind and peace.
Ayesha regularly shares her family's Christian faith, acknowledging even online she's first a believer, then a wife, and then a mother.
Now, you have a big social media following. I think you've got more than 4 million on Instagram. You're very open about your life, the ups and downs and so forth, and passionate. But that comes with critics too. You take some heat sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, 100% of people aren't going to like what you do 100% of the time.
She quickly felt that heat after tweeting criticisms of the NBA. And again, when questioning fashion trends, she found a little too revealing.
I mean, you could be an angel and somebody's still going to have something negative to say. And so I really take it with a grain of salt, no pun intended.
Your husband's phenomenal on the basketball court.
Thank you.
In the kitchen, what's the story?
He's getting better. You know, persistence is key. It didn't start out so well. And there's some stories about that in the book as well. Yeah. But he's gotten better.
And Ayesha knows a bit about persistence. In addition to the cookbook, she also has a show on the Food Network. But it came only after the executive said no a few times.
I guess my motto is let them say no until they say yes. Don't stop. And so now.
Up next, coming up, a look back at the war that changed the world 50 years ago today. Join us as we celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Six-Day War and CBN's special alliance with Israel. We've got that story coming up after this. June 5th, 50 years ago, the historic Six-Day War began between Israel and Arab nations. During that battle, Israeli forces reunited Jerusalem for the first time in nearly 2,000 years. And on that same day, CBN was also taking a major step forward.
In June of 1967, Israel found itself fighting for survival for the third time in less than 20 years. And now what's known as the Six-Day War, Israel's Arab enemies fought with one purpose, the destruction of the Jewish state. And half a world away from the besieged nation, God was raising up a friend.
We dedicated the start of construction of a new phase of our building in Portsmouth, and the ceremony was over when one of our board members came and said, they've just started war in Israel. Something just responded within me. I knew this had enormous significance, that we at CBN were linked with Israel, and that this had to do with the last time. It had to do with the fulfillment of the prophecy that Jesus made when he said, Jerusalem will be trodden underfoot of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. This was the war that liberated East Jerusalem.
The peace did not last, however. In 1973, Egypt and Syria attacked again, this time on Yom Kippur, Israel's holiest day of the year. An unprepared Israel almost lost that war, and the high casualty rate left many in the country disillusioned. A 1974 CBN special brought a message of hope to a war-weary nation.
It became so obvious to every one of us in this country that the threat was to the very existence of the newly born Jewish state.
Here was the general, actually, under Moshe Dayan, who had captured Jerusalem. Now he'd become prime minister. But I had a sense that Israel was so alone. There was a sadness in his voice. He asked America to be strong. And at that point, I made a vow that whatever happened, however unpopular it would be, that we and those associated with us would stand with Israel, that we would be the friend of Israel, regardless. And over these 30, 35 years, I've kept that vow.
3 years later, CBN dedicated its satellite Earth station. As a preview of things to come, the first satellite image received came from the Mount of Olives. Since then, the alliance between CBN and Israel has only grown stronger. In 2001, a news bureau opened in the heart of Jerusalem to bring a prophetic understanding of end-time events.
The march of history is leading back to the city of Jerusalem, and it's vital for CBN News to be here reporting on the events before the return of Jesus Christ.
At Pat Robertson's 75th birthday celebration in 2005, Benjamin Netanyahu sent a stirring thank you to Pat for his friendship to Israel.
Pat Robertson has been a magnificent friend of Israel, and he's been a personal friend of mine. I felt that we had no greater friend in the world, and I mean that. We have no greater friend in the world than Pat Robertson.
In August of 2006, Pat traveled to Israel during the war to demonstrate his support.
I'm here, among other things, to tell your people that the evangelical Christians of America are with you. We're praying for you.
We pray for the nation of Israel.
CBN also has shown its humanitarian commitment to those living in Israel. Through Operation Blessing and Eli Israel, CBN has helped Israelis in need, including survivors of the Holocaust. CBN News now sends Jerusalem Dateline, an award-winning half-hour weekly program around the world through broadcast and the internet, where it's translated into languages like Korean and Finnish. And In Our Hands, The Battle for Jerusalem is the most ambitious project of CBN's Middle East documentary team, with more specials on the way. CBN's ties to Israel remain strong and steadfast, and we will be there to report the prophetic events that herald the day of the Messiah's return.
This is the land that the Lord is going to visit. He's coming back again to Israel.
And as John just reported, CBN produced a docudrama about the Six-Day War. It is called In Our Hands, The Battle for Jerusalem. It had its premiere in Jerusalem at a gala event on Sunday evening. CBN Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell brings us this look at how Israelis received the film.
The film marks 50 years since Israel's victory in the 1967 Six-Day War.
One of the guiding verses for me for this whole project is Psalm 126. Then they said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. It's with great joy I say to you, the Lord has done great things for you.
The film follows the life of several paratroopers as they fought critical battles to reunite the city under Jewish sovereignty for the first time in 2,000 years. They attended the event and honored the film's writer and director, Aaron Zimmerman.
I want to tell to all of you that she does a wonderful work.
Very excited. It brought me back to the moment when we broke through the Lion's Gate.
My biggest fear was somebody saying, well, that wasn't really right, or it didn't really happen like that. And so to get the seal of approval from all 4 of our paratroopers who were here tonight was an amazing blessing for me.
The film has been a big hit in the U.S., but how did it play in Israel?
As an Israeli, I must say that I have not seen for a very long time such a great expression of a true storytelling of what really happened here.
It was really inspirational and really amazing to be able to see, especially the old original footage.
It gave you a real sense of how the war was. What a testimonial to Israel.
What I didn't expect was also the feeling that the soldiers have after of losing their comrades and that mourning that they go through. But the film ended with such a high note of Zechariah 8.
The Israeli actors felt honored to be a part of the film.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. It was very, very pro-Israel.
It was amazing to feel a part of it.
Some Israelis were surprised that Christians would make such a film to honor Israel.
It's heartwarming. We have friends who care.
Yes, I've just learned about it, that Christians love Israel. It was very surprising, a good surprise.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, at the Cinematheque in Jerusalem.
If you missed the first chance to see In Our Hands here in the U.S., I've got some good news. There will be an encore presentation in theaters today only. You can go to cbnnews.com for more information. Stay with us. There's more of CBN NewsWatch coming right up. Time now for your Tuesday Tweetable. Consider this. Today is a great day to resurrect and reclaim the dreams of your youth. God hasn't changed his mind. What he put on your heart is meant for you. With that word, make this a terrific Tuesday. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. You can find more of our exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about always at cbnnews.com. Hope you'll join us again right here next time. Make this a terrific Tuesday. We'll see you right back here tomorrow.